Transposing means that you take your data that's arranged like this across multiple different rows, and you want it flipped like this across multiple different columns. Today I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how to transpose your data. There are two ways today that we're going to go through today in order to achieve that. The first way can be used in situations where you only need to transpose your data one time. For example, if you have a list like this and you just need everything transferred over one time. The second method that I'm going to go through is going to be if you want to set up your data in a way that it's listed out in rows or columns and you want it to automatically switch over to the opposite when more data is entered into your spreadsheet. So up first, we're going to go through how to do it one time. The first thing that you're going to want to do is highlight the data that you want transposed. From here, we're going to want to copy your data, and we can do that one of two ways. We can either right-click on our mouse and click copy button here, or the shortcut is just to use Command-C. And once the highlighted area starts moving around like you can see here, it's been successfully copied. The next step is to click on the cell that you want the data to appear in once it's transposed. So in this example, I'm going to click on B4. Once I have that cell selected, up in the Home tab towards the top left up here, I'm going to click the drop-down arrow on the Paste button. And you can see once I do that, I've got several different options on how I can paste this data. And you're probably able to guess the one that we're going to use today is the transpose one down below here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on that. And you can see that once we click that button, Excel has taken the data that we highlighted and it's transposed it across different columns within our spreadsheet. So now you have the option to either delete the original data, like you can see me doing here, or you can leave both, depending on your situation. The second way that I want to show you how to transpose is a little bit more dynamic, we'll call it. Whereas before, this first option was pretty static because you were selecting a set amount of data and you were transposing it over. This second method is a little bit more flexibility and is open to changes within your spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete some of my data, and you don't need to do that necessarily, but I'm going to use it to show you what I mean by that. To get started with the dynamic method of transposing data, we're going to again click on the cell that we want the transposed data to appear in. So I'm going to click B4 again. I'm going to type equals transpose. And then once I have that typed, I'm going to open up the parentheses. From here, you can see that Excel is only asking you for one thing, and that's the array. And what that means is it wants you to highlight the area that you want transposed. And this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. Instead of highlighting just the area that has data in it, I'm going to go ahead and actually highlight the entire area that data might appear in. So in this example, I'm going to do A4 through A12, but of course I can make that bigger or smaller based on my needs. Once I have that entered, I'm going to go ahead and close the parentheses, and then I'm going to click Enter. And you can see now, similar to before, Excel has taken the data that was in column A, and it's shot it over across columns here. But what's unique this time is that you can also see a bunch of zeros, and you might be wondering what that means. All Excel is saying is that when it went to transpose the data in, let's just say A6 for example, it didn't find anything when it went to put it from A6 to D4. So it's putting a 0. Now the reason that this is not pointless is that I can now go into cell A6 or any of them and I can type in whatever data I want. So let's just say banana here. I'm going to click Enter, and you can see once I've done that, it's entered the data into cell D4. And of course, this works in different situations. I could write rice here, and you can see that it's appearing in G4 now. So that's really the bulk of what makes up the transpose function. Overall, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and pretty easy to understand. The last thing that I want to note about it that's a little bit unique to the transpose function when compared to other functions is that if you look up in the function bar right here, you can see that the actual function itself is a little bit grayed out. And if I went to click delete right here, nothing would happen. And the reason for that is, although data is spilling out across these cells, the function itself is stored within B4, which is where we clicked it. So if I want to make any adjustments to the data or the transpose function at all, I'm going to need to click the cell furthest to the left and furthest to the top in order to make those changes. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and give the video a like. If you have any questions or you're struggling with Excel on a certain topic, make sure to put it in the chat below, and I'll make sure to make a video to help you out. Thanks again.